Miss Siti Halija, and to all my fellow friends that here for today. Today we'll be discussed about one of the most interesting topic in business law, which is about white-collar crime. All of countries in the world cannot run or cannot prevent from any crime records, including Malaysia. On television every day we always heard about crime that committed by various types of persons such as robbery, kidnapping, raping, and many more. Okay, so, but do you ever heard about white-collar crime? No, okay, it's okay. Because that is why we are here for today. We will discuss about white-collar crime. Okay, so basically, white-collar crime is part of crime which is committed by business people or professional or important person. Okay, so it involves cunning, concealment, breach of trust, and deceit instead of physical force. Okay, it's also known as corporate crime. So it can be someone that working in large corporation, working in government, working in agency part, or maybe someone that working in sports center or education center. So it can be anyone. Okay, so now in order to get more understanding about white-collar crime is, let me invite Miss Aika to discuss about two elements in performing the intent crime.
So there are two elements that must be proven for a person to be found guilty of an intent crime. The first one is criminal act, which also known as actus reus, which means that the defendant must have actually performed the prohibited act. For example, when a person tried to kill someone without any legal justifications. The second one is if a taxpayer who is under a legal duty to file income tax return and pay income tax that are due, the government failed to do so, and a person who commit auto theft, which is the criminal act to steal a vehicle. So the second one is criminal intent, which also called mens rea. The accused must be found to have possessed the requisite state of mind when the act was actually performed. So, under the criminal intent, it can be defined as either general intent crimes, which require the perpetrator either knew or should have known that the actions would lead to harmful results. For example, is assault and battery. The perpetrator intends to commit crime but does not know the actual result of the crime in advance. So assault actually means the intention to attempt of using violence or force to injure or harm another person, while battery is the intentional offensive or harmful touching of another person without their consent. So the second one is specific intent crime, which required the perpetrator intended to achieve a specific result from his illegal act. For example, premeditated murder, which is the perpetrator intend a specific result, for example, the death of a victim, which involves careful planning and research before it happens. Second is arson, which is the intentional to start a fire in order to damage or destroy something. Next is forgery, which is the falsely making or copying a document in order to deceive people. And lastly is fraud, the crime of gaining money or financial benefit by a trick or by lying. On the other hand, when a person has the thought of committing a crime, it is not considered a crime because there is no action has been taken. So we will proceed to the next slide, which is criminal procedure by Marshall.
Hello. So for this part, which is the criminal procedure, I'll be explaining about the arrest, indictment or information, arraignment, plea bargain, and criminal trial. This is the procedure that needs to be undertaken during the criminal procedure. So firstly, we'll talk about arrest. So arrest is defined as having the authority to seize someone and take them to custody. But in order to arrest someone, the police will first need to have the arrest warrant so that they have the authority to seize someone. Sometimes they are able to arrest someone without having the arrest warrant, which is called the warrantless arrest. But that someone must be a probable cause, which means that someone is about to commit a crime. So the second procedure is indictment or information. An accused person must be formally charged with a crime before he or she can be brought to trial. So indictment is defined as the charge of having committed a crime based on judgment of grand jury, and information is the charge of having committed a crime based on the judgment of the judge. So the third procedure is arraignment. So after the second procedure, which is if an indictment or information is issued, the accused is brought to the court for an arraignment. If arraignment is brought before a court and is firstly informed of the charges against him or her, and second asked to enter a plea. So non-contendere, meaning that the defendant does not accept or deny responsibility for the charges, but agrees to accept the punishment. So after that, they will enter into a plea bargain, which is the accused will try to negotiate with the government so that they will enter a plea bargain. So if the accused is able to set up an agreement with the government, it is called a plea bargain. So the last trial and procedure, which is criminal trial, first of all, the jurors must agree that the accused is found guilty, all of them. If only one juror disagrees about the guilt of the accused, then the accused will not be found guilty. So after the trial, the defendant is found guilty, he or she may appeal. If the defendant is not found guilty, the government may appeal. So the third one, which is if the jury cannot come to an unanimous decision about the defendant's guilt, one way or another, the jury is considered a hung jury. In this situation, the government may choose to retry the case before a new judge and jury. Thank you. So I'll pass it to my friend for this next part.
Okay. Now let's discuss about type of white collar crime. So it consists of 7 all. Okay, so I will go one by one. So first of all, we got forgery. Okay, so forgery is a written document that fraudulently made or altered and then changed the effects of legal liability of another person. So it can be counterfeiting or falsifying the public records and literally altering the legal documents. So I give you examples like signing or imitating or copying another person's signature to a check or changing the amount of a check without the owner's permission is prohibited. But signing another person's signature without intent to defraud is not a forgery. Okay. The second type of white collar crime is embezzlement. Okay, embezzlement can be defined as misappropriation of asset that entrusted to. So the embezzler intends the asset lawfully and has the right to possess them, but then the asset used for unintended purpose, such as personal purpose. Okay, I give you examples. A bank entrusts a teller to take deposit from its customer and deposit them into the customer's account at the bank. Instead, the bank teller absconds with the bank. So this type of absconsion we can say as embezzlement. Okay, second situation is when a lawyer who steals money from a trust fund that has been entrusted to him to administer, but then this also one type of investment. Okay? The third type of white-collar crime is bribery. Okay, it can be defined as an attempt to make someone do something for you by giving the person's money, presents, favors, or anything that he wants, or anything that have value. And it usually refers as kickback or payoff. Okay, so I give you examples. Harriet lender is the purchasing agent, which is in charge to purchase equipment that can be used by this corporation, ABC Corporation. Otherwise, Lee Brown is the sales representative, which offer to pay 10% as kickback for Harriet lender to buy equipment from him. So from here we can see that Harriet lender is the offering, and Neil Brown is the offerer for the bribe. Okay, so it can be Neil Brown is already guilty because he is the one that offered the bribe. But then Harriet lender, it can be involved in the bribery. It can be not guilty also in involving in the bribery, because if she accept the bribery, which is the offer that offered by Neil Brown, then she also involved in bribery. But then if she refused to not accept the offer, then she is found not guilty. Okay, so that's how it's worked. Okay, and next one is that criminal fraud. So it can be defined as obtaining title to property through deception or trickery constitutes the crime of false pretense. So I give you examples. Bob, which is a stockbroker, had made a promise to Mary, which is a new investor, that he will use any money that invested by Mary to purchase interest in oil wells. Based on this promise, Mary decided to make the investment because he believed that Bob's stockbroker will fulfill the promise. But then Bob never intended to invest all this money. Instead, he used all the money for his personal needs. So from here we can see that Bob is doing a criminal fraud. Okay, so next example will be explained by Miss Sarah.
So the fifth one is actually money laundering. So money laundering is actually when criminals make money from illegal activities such as selling arms, drug trafficking, prostitution syndicate, and many more. They often face with problem of having large sums of money and have no record of this money was earned. So in order for them to wash the money and make it look as thought and it as earned legitimately, many criminals purchase legitimate businesses and run the money through those businesses to clean it before they receive the money. So in our country, they actually have a lot of criminals that already done this part. So in our country, we actually call it as anok, which they claim as licensed criminal, where they lend their money for their clients to borrow, but they want more interest in return payment. Some even buy a lot of branches of stores like car wash, supermarkets, restaurants, and many more other businesses so that they can wash their money. The sixth one is extortion. Extortion is involved the obtaining of property from another with his or her consent by wrongful use of actual or threatened violence or fear. It means a crime in which one person forces another person to do something against his will, generally to give up money or other property by threat of violence, property damage to the person, reputation, extreme financial hardship. In other words, you can say is blackmailing. As a classic example of extortion, actually it can be a protection scheme where figures with ties to the organized crime demand that the shop owners pay for the protection to prevent something bad from their shop happening, like an assault to the shopkeeper or damage his or her stores of goods from happening. Many states also consider blackmail, where a victim is forced to pay someone private information that could damage reputation or the business. The last one is actually mail and wire fraud. Mail and wire fraud are federal crimes that happen worldwide already, which involve mailing or electronically transmitting something associated with fraud. The first one is mail fraud. The term of mail fraud actually includes any scheme like to obtain money or property under false pretenses or to sell, distribute, exchange, supply, or counterfeits. So example of mail fraud actually can be said as Ponzi scheme. Ponzi scheme is actually often take the form of chain letters promising recipients with a small investment with a higher massive return. Second example actually can be said as fraudulent documents. One method of fraudulent documents is actually involves sending out documents that solicit sensitive information. For example, a victim received a full fat credit card application asking for his or full name, her address, social security number, and phone number. With this information, someone may be able to use the person identity or sell it to another party to use. The second one is mail fraud. Mail fraud actually seems to take place all over interstate wires, such as telemarketing fraud, phishing, or spam-related schemes are all called wire fraud. As said that phishing is actually very famous wire fraud. Actually begins when the scammer sends out emails to a large number of people, detailing a tragic story and telling that they are in financial need, so they can lure the people who they want to scam and detail all the tragic story and outlining why the scammer needs financial help. The email wraps up asking the recipient for money or other financial assistance. Once the victim takes the bait, they will reply to the email, which the scammer will begin to weaving a complex story and ultimately will get the victim's personal information with the intent of using to gain it financially. And next is self-reflection.
Now we are at the end of our topic, which is we will discuss about conclusion and self-reflection that we learned from this assignment.
So the first one, what we can learn from this assignment is that we can encourage and promote the business ethic by doing this assignment. Second is comply with all relevant laws and regulations, which is foreign acts.
And the third one, it is essential ideas about various types of crime which is committed in industries, as well as the criminal proceeding.
And to sum up everything, we as a student should not involve in committing any crime when we are enter into the business or enter into industry soon. So that's all for today. Thank you.
Uh,